All right, I'm Dan. You're watching the Dan Bull Show, and today I'm doing a review on the Leatherman. I always fuck it up. Free P4. I always want to say P free for. But yeah, the Leatherman Free P4. I'm carrying this tool around with me for the last year, so I got a pretty good idea of what I liked and what I don't like about it. I guess we'll start out with the negative right off the bat. So the pliers on this thing, when I first got it, I shouldn't say the pliers, the wire cutter part of the pliers. When I first got it, it would cut braided wire. They were nice and tight and sharp, and it didn't take long and that part of it wore out where it no longer will cut braided wire like a 14 gauge braid. But other than that, the pliers themselves are great pliers. They got a good grip angle where you can really get your hand around it. You know, so my background is I'm in the trades. I'm a service steam fitter, which means I work on commercial and industrial heating and cooling equipment. So I use this thing a lot every day. I use it's just in my pocket. It's easy for me to grab. I don't have to get down off the ladder and grab my tool bag for a lot of stuff. So I've been really happy with it. Another thing that I really kind of pissed me off about this thing is, like, after a couple of months, the pocket clip broke. What happened was it had started getting a little bit of loose, and I used the pliers and tried to tweak it just a little bit, and it snapped. It snapped pretty easy. It was ridiculous. So I called up Leatherman, because Leatherman's supposed to have a lifetime warranty on all their stuff, and they would not send me a clip. They would fix it for free, but I'd have to ship it both ways, pay for shipping both ways, to get the tool to them to repair it. So, like, screw that. And I just bought a clip online for $10 and paid the $5 shipping on it. So that kind of was annoying. When you spend the kind of money that this thing costs, it was, I think, over $200 when I bought it. I'll look it up. I'll put it in the video, what it's going for now. But the blade, the knife blade, I use this thing every day. It's a great knife blade. I haven't even broke the tip off of it yet, which is pretty surprising. Holds a good edge. It stays sharp. Sharpens up nice. It's got a Phillips and a flathead. I use the flathead a fair amount for opening up electrical panels and stuff like that. I pretty rarely use the Phillips. On this, going down the line on here, it's got a scissors, and I never really thought I'd use the scissors as much as I do, but it does come in handy. It's like hunting trips and stuff where you, like, you need to cut some threads on your clothing or something like that. It works. It's a nice. I use it fishing sometimes for cutting fishing line. Yeah, it's actually pretty decent scissors. On the other side of the knife here, we got a saw blade, and these things, all the tools, they lock in really nice. It's a very positive lock, and this release right here is how you release it. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but it's full of bark. I use this thing a lot. This channel is primarily a hunting channel, and I take this tool with me in the woods. So if I got to work on camera gear, if I got a loose bolt or something, or I need to bend something or whatever, I always have this with me. And I use that saw blade a lot for cutting branches, and it works good. It's held up. It's still sharp. I've cut hickory, oak, pine. You know, pine is kind of a pain in the ass because you get the sap all over, but I mean, it cuts everything that I've tried to cut with it pretty well. All these tools in the center here. So we got a can opener. I lost my can opener for like a week, so I was actually using this around the house, and it works pretty well. It's got a sewing awl. I've never used that. I have a sewing awl. It's got this little fine screwdriver, flathead screwdriver with a tape on it. Never used that. The file, I have used that in a pinch. It's okay. It's not the greatest file in the world, but I was using it. I was on a hunting trip where I screwed up the thread on my camera arm, so I had to file out the thread so that it would operate, so that the set screw would operate through the camera arm. Then we got a serrated blade. I've only used that a couple of times, but it's a nice blade, I guess. So I think I touched on it, but back to the pliers. The pliers work really good. I use this thing a lot, usually for like pulling spade connectors and stuff like that. And it's got a good grip angle on it where you can really get your hand on it and get a good bite. Where I've had other Leatherman tools in the past where when the tool is closed, the grip angle is more like that, and you just don't have, you know, that kind of power, especially, you know, if you're a guy that uses his hands all the time and they're sore and, you know, your knuckles are always in pain, and you got that bad grip angle and you're trying to squeeze down on something, you just don't have no strength. So I like this. It really, you can really lock down tight. That pretty much about covers it. One feature that I really like about this thing is I carry it in my pocket like that all the time. And if I'm up on a ladder or whatever, you know, I got something in my hand, I don't want to move, I can very easily pull this out of my pocket and open it up like a butter knife or butterfly knife and just do what I got to do. So that the way that it shuts is it's got magnets right in there that keep it closed, and it never opens up on me. I've never had this thing like flopping around open in my pocket or nothing like that. They got just enough strength where they keep it closed nice, but they're still easy to open it. So that's it. That's the review on the Leatherman Free P4.